Welcome, everybody. I hope you guys are doing well. Today, we're joined with none other than the man, the myth, the legend, Mark Tremonti. Welcome back to the show, man. How you doing today?
Back, how you been?
It's been wild here, especially in Orlando. It's in Florida, man. You're a local around here too, man. How's hurricane life?
Drive over to your place to do this thing. We don't have to do it done via Zoom anymore. You're down the street.
Dude, yeah, man. I mean, we moved here in around like February, and it's been nice. I mean, like, coming from Canada, everything's been different because it's America. But
Treat.
yeah, but Florida's been really nice. Like, it's relaxing. Dude, it's hot, man. It's hot here.
Yeah, how about that storm?
Yeah, that storm was I'm very fortunate where we live in Orlando, where like we were fine, but oh my god, it sounded terrifying. Like,
We got smacked.
did you get any flooding or anything like that?
We had a ton of water, but I didn't think I had any damage, but my trees were all kind of leaning, and when the off my garage was smacking against the wall, it knocked the stucco right off my garage.
No, that's not.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Nothing too crazy though.
Nothing too crazy, man. Well, dude, yeah, it's fun because we've had you on the show a couple times before, and it's usually for like the Friday stream thing, which we haven't done that in a minute, where we have a guest on, we check out new music, and it's always fun having you on to do that too, because I think one of the last few times we've checked out Sleep Token, we checked out a lot of like really weird modern stuff as well.
Oh man, I was like, what? Wait, two bands back. What was that? That was. What song did you play me?
Oh my god, dude, I don't even remember when it was. That was a.
Blew me away, and it's cool because you introduced me to that before the rest of the world kind of knew of them, and they were just breaking, and now they're massive.
They're selling out arenas in a way that's just. They have like one support. I know they're doing the headlining tour, and they have like Bill Murray, which I don't know if you've ever listened to Bill Murray. He's like kind of like a country core artist, super fun. Like, he makes metalheads like country, basically.
Had never heard of it. I gotta check it out.
Mark, I got you. I got you with those. But yeah, with all of that, we've had a lot of episodes of that, and that's always fun. But I want to invite you back too to just like shoot the shit, say what's up, and again, talk about all of the million things you've been doing. Because first of all, congratulations, Creed is back.
Thank you. Yeah, it's definitely made my life a little busier.
I mean, how has that been? Because I mean, you yourself, obviously, you're such a legend in the music community, especially the guitar community. But like, Creed is obviously like an OG huge band. Like, Alter Bridge is massive, and so is your project Tremonti. But like, how does it feel going back to that and touring with particular like Creed?
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, these people, you get to see grown men and women cry when you play these songs that they haven't heard since they were kids, or
right.
And it's crazy the amount of people that have come out to see the shows, and the age. Most of the people who come to see the shows have never seen Creed before. So every time Scott will ask the crowd who's coming to their first Creed show tonight, almost everybody raises their hand.
Wow,
which blows us away. We got a lot of. I think the biggest portion of our fan base is under 35 years old, which is nuts to me.
Really?
Yeah.
You guys completely just went to the next generation. That's great.
I think all the social media stuff where the songs are getting played constantly, and the fact that a lot of athletes are playing the songs, that really gets to the younger crowd. That finally made my kids go, "Dad, wow, this is pretty cool." Before they're like, "Whatever, Dad, just give me tickets to the next basketball game." Now they're like, "Wait, Dad, your songs getting played at the basketball game. You're fine."
My dad's cool. My dad's. How old are your kids now?
19, 15, and 3.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah.
Are your kids starting to introduce you to new bands at this point? Especially like when you get to like late teenagers. I'm assuming they're into music in some capacity, maybe. But like, are they showing you a lot of cool random underground stuff?
It doesn't seem like their generation is as into music as we were. It's I don't know if it's just where they're growing up or who they're around, but there's only one kid that was friends with my kids that was into rock and roll, and lucky him, every time I had some extra piece of gear sitting around, like, "Hey, here's a guitar, here's an amplifier, here's a pedal." So he's got a room full of kind of my hand-me-downs from what I just didn't use anymore.
That's so fun. Just some random cool kid just is like, "Yeah, dude, like I have Mark Tremonti's like guitars."
He's got a room full of them. Yeah,
dude, that's amazing. Yeah, because the new generation, I mean, everything's so social media based, obviously, and with TikTok and everything going fun in that way. It's cool to see that like metal is becoming a bit more open-minded and acceptable. Like even it's becoming more of a style. You'll see kids wearing like deathcore logo stick tees, and you can't read anything, and they never even listen to metal in their whole life. They're just like, yeah, I like the fashion of it, or I just like the aesthetic of metal. Like it's becoming more fused, I think, with everything, and even genre fusion, man. Like I know we were talking about Sleep Token, and I gotta say too, the new Tremonti, man, which Kevin sent me, dude. Jesus, that's I want to talk more about that without spoiling anything, but like the amount of genre fusion and the confidence I think of bands nowadays, like rock bands, metal bands, to blend heavy moments with big epic, soaring melodic moments. Bands are much better at that, I think, nowadays than they've almost ever been at it.
I mean, I think especially Sleep Token is a perfect example of that, where you could play one song for somebody and then another song and say these are two different bands, they wouldn't blink an eye. There's so many different vibes in that. I love it, man. I think that's just great songwriting, and who wants to do the same thing for their entire career? It's great to challenge yourself and branch out of it.
Yeah. Have you been checking out any newer bands that have gotten you've gotten like a cool new like modern fix of recently, or not as much?
Not really, man. I've trapped myself in a songwriting bubble. I kind of do that every now and then, where I don't listen to anything but just my own ideas and try to develop them, because I feel like I'm writing for every band in the world right now. I've got all four projects kind of coming together at one time, and trying to balance it all. So it's tough to. I haven't found much new, to be honest with you, in a little while.
Right. Do you have more Sinatra stuff in the works by chance?
I was just talking about, I want to do volume 2 of that, but as I'm touring, doing the Creed tours, I've got to prepare for the upcoming Sinatra shows that happen in December. So I'll right as soon as that tour ends, I jump right into a Sinatra tour. And then as soon as that Sinatra tour is over, I'd go over to Europe for Tremonti. And then as soon as that Tremonti tour is over, I jump in the studio with Alter Bridge. So it's just one after the other.
Jeez. Like when it comes to, I guess, that mindset now, because you have everything rolling at the same time, are you able to compartmentalize in terms of writing of like, okay, you come up with a really sick punch and riff. How are you able to distinguish, like, is this Tremonti, is this Alter Bridge, is this Creed? Is there something particular about your own writing style that you're able to kind of differentiate between those?
You got to have intuition. And I think the biggest factor would be if it's a speed metal idea. If I'm hitting horse gallops and stuff that requires crazy double kick drums on the bass, my guys Scott and Brian don't really dig that kind of thing.
Okay.
I spent years going, come on, this is great, and they're like, that's just not, they don't like the speed metal thing, and so that's why I started Tremonti.
That makes sense.
So all the ideas that I pushed on them for years and years and years and never used, I'm like, all right, I'm just going to start a band then, another band.
Yeah, why not? It's cool because in all the projects consistently, dude, you make some of the heaviest modern sounding, like you told the line right between like that metal and rock world where it's just a heavy riff. And I love that about your songwriting, especially your riff writing, man. And I gotta say, dude, the new Tremonti record, again, Kevin sent that to me. There was a couple songs where it just starts and you're just going right away. And again, as a person that listens to anything from whatever pop music to rock and 2000 stuff to like modern whatever deathcore, even some of those moments caught me by surprise, man. I gotta say, and it's I gotta give you mad credit for that, because it's not easy to do that and blend it in a style that is, again, still like rockish, like alt metal, however you want to kind of, I guess, describe Tremonti as a project as a whole. But you fuse a lot of really cool elements together, and it's when you go aggressive, dude, like I don't know how you like pull it off every time, but it's really sick.
Well, thank you. Like I said, I grew up on speed metal, and I could never do the metal vocal thing. So that's why it's kind of that's what brings the rock back into it. It keeps it from being pure metal, just because I have to sing like a normal vocalist. I can't do the raw.
Can't do it. Have you dabbled, like, just out of one day bored curiosity of hearing someone do like an animal zombie noise, and you're like let's see what goes on here? Have you messed around in any capacity?
Oh, I've been in the car going, could I do that? And I've tried it, and I don't think I can do it. I don't know. I've tried. I even looked up Zen and the Art of Screaming, I think it is, or
Melissa
whatever.
Cross, the goated,
Melissa
yeah.
Cross. I hear, a few people I've ran across have used her as a vocal instructor, and I say she's just a terrific teacher in general. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if that's in my cards to do the metal thing, but I might look her up just for any kind of tips she can throw my way.
Yeah. How's that balance for you too? I mean, it's especially Tremonti, like doing those both live. Like guitar is its own feat, and you have a lot of technical guitar parts in Tremonti, and I even hear on that record. How it's been practicing to balance the vocal performances with the guitars and like making those two things in sync.
Yeah, it's some of it's tough. I mainly write these songs so I can do them live. So the tough parts are in between the vocal parts. When the vocal kicks in, you kind of have somewhat of a chord progression that's manageable when you're singing along to it. But as far as the riffs go, I'm not going to do a lot of real super busy riffs and a vocal at the same time. I do, usually when it's kind of tremolo pick and thrash stuff, I can do that. But when it's, more of a progressive thing, it's hard to sing and play guitar at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
But on the record, there's definitely some parts that, you got to ask yourself in the studio, do I want to make sure I can do this 100% perfect live, or do I want to put out the best record possible? And we try to balance the two. Like, all right, I'm going to do my best to do this live like it is on the record. But a lot of times you'll be in there and you'll have your producer say, hey, there's this gap right here. It's about a 20-second gap with no vocal. Maybe you should have put a vocal there. And then you're like, okay, I agree. And I put a vocal there. And then when it comes down playing, it's like, how am I going to sing this? How am I going to sing this live? So that's when sometimes I'll go to my other guitar player, Eric, and say, hey, do you want to do this vocal or take this guitar line?
Okay.
A lot of times it's, hey, you play this guitar line and I'll do this other thing so I can sing it.
Yeah. Delegating is, I can see that making much more sense, because there's some moments I get listening to the new record, which again I only had one or two passes before, because Kevin sent it to me I think last night, and I'm like damn, Mark, you're gonna have some fun with this one.
I did that back in Alter Bridge too when we did the song Waters Rising. We had tracked that song, and then Miles and Elvis said, hey Mark, why don't you sing this song? So that's when well, I can't sing and play that. So Miles plays the part I recorded in the studio, and I play a new part that I wrote for live take.
No, that makes a lot of sense, man. How does it feel, I guess, because obviously you come from a big metal background, but of course like the OG rock and roll world. And I feel like nowadays those worlds are, again, coming together more than ever. Like I always kind of say things are like Octane radio is huge, but like Octane Core, and how there's metal bands that are kind of doing more rock-ish radio type things. But then there's also rock bands doing more metal things, which is really refreshing to see. How is that world, I guess, from your eyes, especially coming from like the origination of all of that stuff, like felt for you?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest shocking things is now how country music's merging into rock. You have a guys like Hardy, who just came and played with us in Nashville, doing big heavy guitars, and I love that. I think the more you bring electric heavy guitars into the world, the better. I think pop music's starting to do it more, because there was a decade or so where you wouldn't hear an electric guitar on pop radio, and now you have Billie Eilish or a few other people putting some guitar tracks on the record, and all of a sudden they're winning Grammys for best rock record of the year or whatever it is.
Those are the weird extra stretches with the winning rock records of the year. But I agree with you. Like the combining those elements and seeing the mainstream just kind of adapt them is refreshing. And we're gonna get probably gonna get a lot more collabs too, of like, I don't know, Post Malone and fucking Polyphio, or like Ariana Grande and like, I don't know, 3 Days Grace. I'm just saying random bands at this point, but like watch it happen, man. Well, that's very exciting. I think it also makes it so, again, the new generation that's growing up is getting exposed to all of this together, and it's no longer like, do you like metal or not, or do you like rock, or do you like pop? It's just like, hey, I listen to music, and it seems like that's more the case. I don't know, because I don't have like 15-year-olds near me. I don't know, but I don't know if you get a sense from, even because I know you have kids around that age, like that's like music seems to be more open. But as far as I see on the internet, like it seems like everyone's just like, music's music now. It's no longer segregated as much. Yeah,
it's I think that I saw that first when I tour Europe. You do these festivals where you'd have a big mix of genres playing, and everybody's open-minded to everything. And United States wasn't really like that back back then, but now it is. We're doing a festival next year with we're doing the I don't know if it's announced yet, so I don't think I can say
No,
it.
nothing is happening. Nothing. No, it's
We're
all
not,
good.
so we're not doing this festival.
Nothing's happened. Chat. No snitches. No, we're
That's
chill. Sorry. Continue. Yeah.
So yeah, no, man, it's just as time goes by, I think this new generation is definitely more open-minded to different styles of music. And it's just, I don't think it's as when we were kids, we would get into our metal and our music was the best music and everything else kind of sucked kind of thing. And
Right.
the heavier, better it was. It's just not like that anymore. I don't think. I think everybody's just wants to hear a good song, and whoever delivers it's fine.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Yeah. And this is totally off topic. Are you a pinball collector? I see all the pinball machines.
I am. This is my, I ran out of room in my pinball room. So now they're showing up in my studio.
Oh, so that's not even the pinball room. That's your...
Oh, this is my studio. And like I said, I had ran out of room. I'm like, I could probably fit 4 in here. So I got 4 in my studio.
How many do you have in your pinball room?
I have 12 up there.
Damn.
I'm a pinball guy. I got to do the soundtrack for this one right behind me, this Venom machine.
Oh, that's so sick.
I did music for the Godfather machine that's in the other room.
Damn. Have you ever tried? I had a friend who was really good at pinball, and he would try to go between like 3 machines at once. Have you ever done the multi-machine balancing, or one machine at a time?
I do that when we're doing multiplayer and you don't have to want to wait on somebody else. I'll start on another game while, yeah. I like to turn one machine on, have only that audio going, and focus on that machine. When you go to an arcade, it's crazy. It's too loud. You can't really focus.
Yeah.
I love having them at home.
Yeah, that's does your whole family kind of get into it, or is it just you usually?
Well, when I get a new machine, they all jump on it and play it for a while, and then when I have friends come over that are playing pinball, they'll come out and play, but they don't usually just go off and play on their own.
No.
But that's our newest machines there on the end. The new X-Men machine. The kids are playing that a lot right now.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah. I've always been to like pinball, I guess they're called like arcade areas, not like an arcade like you go to a movie theater, but like it's literally like a pinball place. You go there and you play a bunch. Yeah. And I didn't play since I was a kid, and then I went to play with my friend who's really, really good at pinball, and I was like, this is really weirdly relaxing. That's not the like adjective I thought I'd use to describe it, but it's so like you just go and you can sit there for like an hour and you're just like, oh, it's been an hour.
If you got one pinball machine at your place, you would fall in love with it, and you'd see the addictive qualities of pinball, because pinball machines are real deep, and there's a lot. It's almost like playing a musical instrument. You learn it. Mm-hmm. You learn the flow of it. And I got a local buddy who rents them out for a month. So
let's
drop one.
Dude, I will probably hit you up on that, because Orlando, I'm still figuring out Orlando and seeing what's around. And like I said, it's been lovely just discovering things. But in terms of like entertainment, we're right by International. So like we've done the whole like Icon Park and gone up and down. But it's so everything that's entertainment is very touristy usually. Yeah. So that's the only downside. And I guess I'm technically a tourist because we just got here this year. But like,
not the place you kind of want to hang out as a local. That's definitely tourist central. But you Sand Lake Road, right by where you're at, there's plenty of live music there. And there's a place called Voodoo something or other, Voodoo Lounge, right by you. Oh, okay. That we went to, right, and the band that was playing there just was incredible.
Oh shit, we gotta go check that. Yeah, we're still like, we still haven't gone to Disney. My girlfriend she loves Disney, and when we got here, we're like, we're gonna go to Disney every day. Haven't had time to go to Disney. It's also so hot. Do you have any like Disney or Universal like prep plans? Like, you must be a professional as an Orlando person.
Yeah, do it between November and March. Don't for time. That's just terrible.
Not worth.
Yeah, not worth it. I would spend Florida this time of year. Well, you're about to get the best time of year here in Florida. It's awesome in December, January, February. Everywhere else is cold. We're perfect. You're gonna love being from Canada. It's gonna be like your summer. That's
the thing. Toronto in summer is beautiful, but it lasts like a month.
Then we'll have that 4-month Toronto summer here.
Okay, that's amazing. So I'm excited. Yeah. Do we get the passes? Is the passes the way to go if you're gonna be?
We got passes for our kids for the Halloween Horror Nights. That's about it. Now that we have a daughter that loves Frozen and Elsa and Disney, we're gonna have to get her the pass for sure.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, speaking of Orlando, you have the, and I forgot the actual name of what you're calling it, the tattooing. Oh my gosh,
On
Saturday.
Vintage tattoo. It's yeah, I'm doing I think about 8 tattoos that night, and it's all for charity. And then the local artists that work at the shop will be there tattooing the same style of tattoos, all go to charity. We're trying to raise as much as we can for the National Down Syndrome Society. And I finally am a certified tattoo artist.
So I wanted to unpack this because Kevin messaged me. He's like, yeah, like Mark's doing tattoos. And I was like, what? Like he's going to be at, like, I thought, you're going to be at the tattoo shop, like getting a tattoo. I'm like, oh, like that's cool. He's like, no, like he's doing tattoos. And I'm like, wait, when did this happen? So tell me about your tattoo journey, because this seems like a side quest that now is fully,
It's great. I love art. I love painting. It's always my New Year's resolution. I'm going to become a better painter this year, kind of a thing. And I just dabble. I'm not very good at it, but so when we were on the last cruise we just did, there was an artist on there, a tattoo artist, and our Chuck Bruckman, one of our dear friends that was working with us on the cruise, said, "Why don't you give me a tattoo?" And I'm like, "Well, I've neber done it before." He's like, "I don't care." He's got red rum across his stomach, and he just didn't care if I messed it up. So I did it, and it came out looking, I think it looked pretty good.
Okay.
So after that, my wife's like, "I want you to tattoo me next." And then my drummer's wife said, "I want you to tattoo me." And our friend Brian wanted me to tattoo him. And I think I did about 6 tattoos while I was on the boat. And then when I got home, people were like, "Oh, I hear you're tattooing." And now we had a tattoo party where I tattooed another 5 or 6 people. And then we said, "Why don't we do a fundraiser?" So my friend Tom gave me all the info how to become get my certification. So I had to take a test. I had to study this program that I signed up for. You have to take a test, go down to the health department, get your certification. And now when I'm doing these tattoos Saturday, I'll be the first time I'm doing them above board.
Above board. Dude, that's so it was just a random side. Like you're passionate about art, but like tattooing specifically was more just like I guess let's figure it out.
Great. I mean, I definitely take my time and make sure it's precise and done right, because I don't want to ruin anybody's life with a bad tattoo. I've always had somebody over my shoulder as well. If I'm doing a tattoo, I've always had a professional in case something were to happen. But this time around, I'm like, I don't want to do these simple tattoos. I want to start doing something a little more, challenging. So we put the Creed crest and the Alter Bridge Blackbird as one of the options for the big tattoos. So, and the tattoo artist that I'm working with is like, that Blackbird is really tough. There's some artists that I wouldn't in my shop have do that. So you doing that is pretty much taking a risk. I'm like, I'm all for it. I mean, I want to do it. I want to take the risk. If somebody's willing to let me take the risk on their skin, and I have this professional on, over my shoulder, kind of, I'm all about it.
That's amazing. Yeah. Where is that? That's like a public event where people come, or is it like a private thing you guys have at the shop?
No, I think you have to buy tickets to come see it because it's all for charity. I think there's like a space for 100 or 150 people.
Chat. And if you live in Orlando, go see Mark Tremonti tattoo. Come
on. And I think there's maybe 1 or 2 tattoo spots left. Maybe 1 left where I'll be giving the tattoos. But like I said, the local artists are going to be giving tattoos as well.
Okay, dude, that's awesome. That's again, when Kevin mentioned, I was like, what? It was like the most random side thing, but that's so sick that you're dabbling into that too, and you're busy, huh? Sorry, what'd you say?
I have tattoos.
You have? Yes, I was gonna ask that too. So you don't have any tattoos?
The funny joke is I want to be tattooing somebody, and as I'm inking them, have them be like, "Hey, so why don't you have tattoos?" I'm like, "Oh, because tattoos are for bad people." But I came this close to getting a tattoo on our last tour, but But the tattoo artist was like, you know what, if I'm going to be your first tattoo, I want to make sure we spend weeks designing it and putting it together, not just an overnight kind of planning thing.
You're not just gonna get a Creed tattoo, like right here, face Creed tattoo for life.
Well, I had the opportunity to get Tokyo Hero to tattoo, and I was going to do, since my daughter's name is Stella, there's Stella Maris, which is kind of the watches over sea travelers. You know, she's the saint of sea travelers, I believe. And I get a Stella Maris tattoo.
Oh, that's nice. So no Creed tattoos in the future for you.
No band tattoos.
No band tattoos. That's fair. That's amazing. Well, I mean, Mark, I want to talk a little bit about, again, the new record. I know it's not out, so I don't want no spoiling anything. Again, listen to it. Go listen to it when it's out, chat. Again, the end will show us how. Give me a little, I guess, backstory about how this one came about. You've had, how many records do you have under Tremonti now?
This is our, fifth or sixth record. Let me see. We got All It Was, Cauterize. We got Dust. We got Dime. This is our sixth.
Jeez. How many records have you written, Mark? I'm like,
just the other day talked about it. 19 albums now. Yeah, there's 7, I believe, Alter Bridge records, 6 Tremonti records, 4 Creed records, Sinatra record, the Christmas record. I think me and Miles are almost neck and neck on how many records we put out. I think I might have one more than him at this point.
Do you have moments where you literally forget you wrote a song, like you are listening to it and you're like, wait, yeah. I wrote that.
Right now I'm going through organizing ideas for the next Alter Bridge album, and I'll get on my laptop where all my ideas are, and I'll hear something. I'm like, wait a minute, that's great. And then Scott Phillips will hear it and be like, no, that's a song that we recorded and put out.
Of course, right. It's great. It's proven it did really well, dude.
Well, that's one of my least favorite things to happen ever. You get all excited about something, like, this is the perfect chorus for this song that I'm putting together right now. It's going to be great. And then somebody hears it and tells you it's a B-side from the third record or something.
Oh, you're like, God.
It's a heartbreaker when that happens.
That's a heartbreaker. That makes sense. Well, dude, a lot of records, like, I mean, you're beyond a veteran with that. Like, any things you've learned along the way, specifically with the art of writing a record, that you would think any youngsters nowadays writing records, you could maybe save them however many, you could save them 20 albums worth of, pain of figuring things out, in terms of advice you'd give someone after writing 20 records almost. Jeez.
I'd say never turn it off, never turn the faucet of creativity off, because once you do, it dries up and you gotta dig that new well. So it's the only time I take time off of writing a record is once I've just mixed a record and I can spend a month or so just being a lead guitar player, because I feel like songwriting is, it's funny to say, even though you have a guitar in your hand, for me, songwriting is one of the worst things for my lead playing, because when I have a deadline to get a record done, I'm not sitting around practicing lead stuff. I'm writing vocal melodies, and I'm writing putting songs together. So I'd say, number one advice, write all the time. Write as much as you possibly can. Don't ever turn it off. Another piece of advice is stay organized. Figure out a way to keep your ideas organized, and finish what you start. I'm a big, I point the finger at myself. I would give myself that advice. If you find something good that you like, finish it. Don't just let it sit around. I have thousands and thousands of ideas that are just kind of floating around, but I've learned how to organize them. So if I'm writing a song and I need a certain part, I can go through my ideas and say, okay, this is in 6/8 timing. It's in open D5 tuning, and it's 135 beats per minute. I can go to a file that I can find just what I'm.
Yeah. That's the biggest complaint I always find from songwriters. Especially, I used to teach for a few years back in the day, and I had a lot of students too that were like guitarists or like trying to write songs, and it was always the same problem. It was, I can make riffs, but I never can finish it. Like, I can come up with the sick riff, and then I get to the verse 2 or a chorus, and then I don't know, everything else is gone, and then it sits on their computer or laptop for 10 years and they don't touch it, and it's just gone.
I think that's just life in general. A lot of people have great ideas and they just can't pull it off. They can't finish it or don't have the confidence to think that they can finish it. And another thing with songwriting is, if you're a guitar player, don't just write riffs, write vocal melodies. Vocal melodies are the most important part of a song. That's, to me, number one is vocal melodies. That's what I feel like I've worked on the most in my career, is writing vocal melody stuff.
And dude, that really again shines through on the new Tremonti record, man, where your choruses, you're a master at, again, many things, but especially when it comes to melodic writing on choruses and picking your phrasing very particularly to match the melody choices, but also to match your chord progressions when you like write choruses, especially for the new record. Is it more of a chord progression thing first, or is it a vocal melody thing first?
Melodies are first. Well, when I'm writing something, I'll be singing right away, and when I do guitar clinics before shows, I talk about songwriting, and I talk about writing vocal melodies, and how a lot of times I'm in a hotel room at 3:00 in the morning, and I have to be quiet, so I can't sing my full voice. So when I'm writing vocal melodies, I write in my falsetto. And when you write in your falsetto, you don't have to be limited by your human range, vocal range. You can sing as high or as low as you wanted to, and you're kind of using your imagination. And I pretend I'm the best singer in the universe when I'm writing a vocal part. So I don't hear my normal natural voice. It might turn me off and be like, oh, this idea isn't good. But when you're singing in your falsetto and you're not limited by range, you can, like I said, in your mind, you can be Robert Plant. You can be whoever the hell you want, and come up with the best melody. And once you come up with the best melody, then you pitch the guitar to whatever relative pitch your voice can handle after that.
Are you doing the tuning down, or are you using pitch shifting nowadays?
I tune my guitars differently, but when I'm writing, I use I think I have the pedal right here.
Is it the whammy DT?
Look at this, how close.
Mark. Oh, you have that one. I have, wait, now I got to join in on this. I have the fat boy version.
There you go. I have that on tour.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
but here whack-a noise.
This is perfect for if I'm writing a vocal melody. If I want to see where it fits for my voice, I'll just tune it down instead of sitting there. I used to have to just sit and tune and
and you guys do like baritone basically tunings with everything. So like
Tremonti, I think the most common pitch would probably be B, or even be even lower than that. I go down to, I don't know, maybe even G sharp is the lowest. Maybe I go down low because my voice is low, which suits the Frank Sinatra stuff perfectly. But as far as the rock stuff goes, it's almost like I need to be playing baritones to be able to pull it off.
I mean, yeah, and nowadays, especially when it comes to low tuning and pitch shifting, like people are getting away with A0. Like it's wild, Mark.
I use it once live, the pitch shifting. When we do Fable of the Silent Sun in Alter Bridge, I played a solo in that song that I hated playing live because the strings were all sloppy. So I just used this pedal, go down.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Steps live. And to me, in a big live setting like that, I couldn't hear it. For one song, it's fine.
Yeah, no. I suspect like the technology is getting kind of scary. When it comes to pitch shifting, that there's always going to be a little bit of that latency, which is it is annoying, and you have to adapt for while you're playing it. But audibly,
yeah. Oh, you know what? Just specific. I used it for the first time on a record. On this new Tremonti record, there's a song called "All the Wicked Things," the very last track on that. And I was writing that song and writing that song and writing that song. I remember buying Omnisphere, the program for Pro Tools, and I came up with that intro for that song, and I'm like, I've got to finish this song. I just love the mood it set. Wrote the chorus, wrote the verse, but when it came to the bridge, I wanted to have a big riff, something that really was slamming. And the song is in the key of A, and I was like, I don't want to have to be stuck playing off of my fifth fret of the E string and kind of pedal toning or whatnot. I want to have the big E string open on the bottom doing a riff. So I took this pedal and I used it and everybody's when they try to learn that song, they're like, what the hell is happening here? Is this 7 string?
Right.
All I did when I hit that bridge section, I tuned the guitar down, I think 2.5 steps maybe.
Right.
So now my E string that's already tuned down, the D goes down to A.
Okay, that makes.
I have to do the math. That's probably all wrong what I said.
It's 2.5. It's 5 semitones.
Yes, but
Too much math.
but I can't remember if if I'm tuning it in drop D or standard tune and then doing it.
Well, nowadays, especially with a lot of the modern metal guys, Mark, like I don't know if you've ever listened to a band like Valsharta, where it's so wild how people are utilizing like not just this pedal, but like the functions of pitch shifting in a way where like the guitar is not even a guitar. It's just like a DJ effects board at that point where the fifth fret is never actually the fifth fret anymore. It's now, it can be any fret you want it to be with pitch shifting. So you're seeing people do these wild noises and wild pitch shifting, trippy things where I remember seeing a playthrough of specifically the band Valsharta where he has to show the semitones he's moving and pitch shifting. And it changes every 2 seconds. It's like -3, +5. Like it's weird to see.
Look into that because it definitely opens up a ton of doors when you when you write a song, say in the key of G, and you want to write a big heavy riff. You can write some G riffs, but it's not as easy as writing a riff in D or E when you're just dropping E and having that big open string, or you have your big E string on the bottom. So you can get away with murder with these pedals. You can say, all right, my E, now I can have a big riff section where I just step on my pedal.
And it does well, even a lot of people are more comfortable with whether it's a 6 string or a 7 string. Like some people aren't comfortable with 8s. That's something I know for myself where I had an 8 and I'd go to like C1, but it's, you have to use your 8 string. So I started using my 6 string, octave shift pedal, adapt for the latency.
There you go.
It does the thing, and it feels very comfortable and natural, even though it has a synthetic element to it. But again, if it's live, no one can notice. And even through production and through mixing, like people are getting away with it nowadays. So it's weird, man.
And I'm with you. I've probably stood up against digital stuff more than anybody. I'm an analog through and through tube amp, purist. I still use a cable. I don't use wireless. But I'm not afraid of using the technology to get the job done as long as it doesn't carry on over across your entire tone. I'd hate my entire tone to be digital thing. And I think Kempers and Axe Effects and all those things are great. I think they're awesome for the studio. They're awesome for creativity. And I almost think that when you have a band where you have one guy using a tube amplifier and then one guy using a Kemper,
right,
or any kind of digital platform, it sounds almost even better than if you have two tube amps.
Right.
But if it's all digital on stage, I'm not a fan of that. I like to hear some sort of tube amplifier. And I think it's, if you're Metallica or something, you're playing stadiums, nobody's ever going to know the difference. But if you're playing a House of Blues or something like that, and it's all digital backline, I tend to think I can tell the difference, and it's just, there's a richness to that analog sound.
100%, man. Yeah. The future is going to be interesting. The future is going to be interesting seeing technology evolve and weird AI things too. Like it's getting crazy. But for now,
AI, nobody's going to know who's writing music anymore in a minute.
Oh yeah, I always tell my chat too. I'm like, there are songs out there right now by probably rock metal bands that you guys will never know it was AI. That it's this song fully. Like.
And I just did we just released our new song from the record, The Mother Earth and I. And I didn't want to do your typical band performance video. Right. We did 2 of those, so I wanted one of them to be artistic. So I went online and I searched all this stuff on Instagram and Pinterest and all over the place to trying to find cool artists. And I find this art the guy uses, and this was a while ago I found it, way before people are hating more and more on AI.
Yeah.
And so the video is this guy who's mastered all these new AI programs. So there's a lot of hate there. It's like, I love the song, but I hate AI and it's stealing from artists. And I think eventually people have to realize that some of these AI programs are just like a new modern paintbrush. You got to learn how to manipulate it. You got to be able to use it.
Yeah.
Don't let it be something you just push a button, all of a sudden it spits out something very original. But
Yeah, and it's especially for a lot of that too. Like if someone uses that stuff, like it still looks obvious. Like you have like 7 fingers, like it's very
that I mean, the video that guy made for the Mother of the Earth and I can't even imagine how much that thing would have cost back 20 years ago or 10 years ago.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
it blew me away when I saw it. I'm like, this is the coolest thing I've seen. But then when you put it out and people dislike the AI thing, it's like, it's a shame. But
yeah, it's about utilizing it in a unique way that is original, right? That's the thing, and that's something that's beautiful. Again, that video was wild. I remember watching that too. I was like, it looked very modern, and I was like, damn, dude, like this is really sick. And again, the song is great too. So, Mark, dude, I know you're busy, dude. You have so many projects as well. Again, guys, Tremonti, The End will show us how out January 10th, if I'm not mistaken on the date. Go show the homies the love, pre-order it. And you're in so many bands. Are you on tour on any of them right now or no?
I have October off, so I'm starting to. Well, no, I'm just writing. Yeah, demoing at home.
If you see Mark in any of the various projects, which you are all aware of, go see them live. It's an amazing. Again, I saw you guys when you did Alter Bridge in Toronto at History with Wolf.
Yes.
And that was like, I was like, I've never actually been to like more of like a rocky alt rock kind of alt metal show. I was like, this is sick. It's a vibe. It was.
We'll be out with us on this next tour in November.
There you go. Perfect. Go see them live. Again, Mark, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show to shoot the shit. Thank you so much for coming to hang out, man. And again, congratulations on the record.
Welcome to Florida.
Thank you, man. I look forward to the heat, and I might, if I see, I'll see you around at Disney, man. All right.
Yeah, I'll see you at Publix or something.
Oh, that's the most Florida sentence. I'll see you at Publix, bro. Yes. Mark Tremonti, everyone, dude. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, bro. See ya.